I love action cameras. As a matter of fact, action cameras are what got me into videography. And my journey started while flipping through a pamphlet from GoPro many years back. At the time, that pamphlet was flexing the specs of the Hero 3. But the pamphlet wasn't only selling me a camera, it was selling me a promise. A tiny, rugged camera that, in theory, should help you capture amazing, high-quality action shots. And as a kid, I bought into that promise. I saved up all my pocket money and bought the Hero 4 Silver. Since that day, I've had 10 action cameras, and I can honestly say that after all that time and money, the promise was never truly delivered. You see, it's been over a decade of trade-offs for action cameras. After all, the whole concept of an action camera is built upon a compromise of image quality, size, and features. As said, for me, it all started with the Hero 4 Silver. And while it was revolutionary for its time, the footage was mediocre at best. It was all shaky, it was really warped, and let's be honest, the 4K was muddy, to say the least. I then used the Hero 5 with the Karma grip for many years, and while the gimbal smoothed out all the bumps, it was a nightmare to mount. And although the Karma grip did prove itself to be rugged over the years, it was another thing that I felt that I risked breaking every time I brought it out. Truthfully, I didn't get another camera for many years after that. And during that time, they improved significantly. I remember when I got my Insta360 X2, how I was just blown away by the stabilization. And when I later on bought my Hero 11, I was just amazed by the image quality and clarity. And while the whole slew of newer cameras I've used over the past few years are leaps and bounds better than those cameras of old, they too have their trade-offs. For example, the 360 cameras I've used have always been slightly awkwardly shaped. And for example, the Ace Pro and the newer generations of Hero cameras have just grown out of proportion. They are big, and I mean really big, especially compared to the old dogs. And since I 9 times out of 10 use my action cameras for mountain biking or skiing, the weight and large form factors become an issue. If I mount them to the top of my ski helmet, I just end up feeling like a bobblehead with all that weight up top. And if I visor mount the cameras for MTB, my neck is usually in agony after only a few runs. Also, since the cameras have gotten so big, they tend to stick out a lot when mounted. This has resulted in me whacking them against tree branches and even my own handlebars, and let me tell you, that can get expensive. If I instead mount my cameras on a follow cam stick, the weight immediately creates a new issue. Having so much weight far out on a stick will make it flex ever so slightly, and that creates this really weird bounciness in the footage, and it can actually be a bit nauseating to watch, even though the camera stabilization is so fantastic nowadays. It also creates fatigue when you've got that much weight out the far end of a stick, and by the end of the run, my arms are usually burning. Although, I guess that might be a benefit because I don't have to spend money on a gym membership. Now for my use case, this constant cycle of trade-offs finally relaxed a bit last year when Insta360 released this, the Go 3S. Now I get it, on paper, the Go 3S is not the best. The sensor size is significantly smaller than any other traditional style action cameras, and the battery life is a lot worse. Also, you don't get any other cool features that you get on a 360 camera because, well, it isn't one. But it does one thing perfectly. It gets out of the way. At just 39 grams, you will completely forget that this is on your helmet or on the opposite end of your 3-meter selfie stick. There's just zero fatigue wearing this thing. And it's not a distraction from your sport, it just kind of becomes a part of it. And this truly is the first action camera that isn't a pain to set up and mount because it's so small, it'll fit just about anywhere. But this would mean nothing if it compromised too much on image quality. For example, with the older generations of Go cameras, like my beloved Go 3 here, they were great in concept, but the lower 2.7K resolution often was just a tad soft, especially if you wanted to combine it with footage from other cameras. The Go 3S shoots in 4K. I mean, that's kind of the headline of the whole camera. But anyway, and while it won't rival the quality of the bigger cameras, it is good enough to where I just don't reach for its bigger brothers anymore. And in my world, the Go 3S is the first camera that's given us a glimpse into that perfect action camera formula. This is the first time where I personally feel like the industry has delivered on its promise. This right here is the promise that I bought into those 11 something years ago. This is a tiny, rugged camera that effortlessly helps me capture awesome, high quality action footage. But all of this is, of course, my personal opinion, and your needs may very well vary from mine. As a matter of fact, I'd be surprised if they didn't. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that if you're like me, or 95% of all other weekend warriors and hobbyists, the Go 3S will be plenty and might just be the very best action camera on the market right now. But that's just my take. And whether you are an action camera veteran like myself, or you're just getting into things, I'd love to hear your opinion on this particular matter. So please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing. That would help me out a whole lot. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.